Hi guys, hi everyone, it's me Ghost Girl again, and today I'm going to be doing another historic story on one of Scotland's most famous Scottish heroes, William Wallace, and the story takes place over 700 years ago. Around 700 years ago, England ruled over Scotland and used fear and terror as tools to rule over Scotland. The Scots felt oppressed during King Edward I's rule, and they sought out a hero to rescue them from England's rule. A lot of William Wallace's life is actually unknown, and it's usually his early years are normally a common debated issue between most historians. It is believed that he was born in 1270 in either Eldershire near Paisley or Ellenshire in Ayrshire, and he was born into a minor noble family. When William Wallace was 27, the country lost its freedom, and a year later William Wallace decided to start a rebellion in order to free Scotland from the English. Scotland used to be an independent nation and was ruled by its own king, but in 1296 King Edward I invaded Scotland and forced the Scottish king at the time, John de Balon, who was already known at the time as the weak king, off his throne, and then invaded Scotland and took the Scottish throne for himself, and then ruled over both Scotland and England. In May of 1297, William Wallace had formed his resistance, which included himself and 31 other men. As part of their rebellion, they burned the town of Lanark and killed the English sheriff, who was the current sheriff in Lanark at the time. He then organised a small local army and attacked all the English strongholds between the Forth and the Tay rivers. On September of that year, the English army confronted William Wallace and his men. Wallace's forces were vastly outnumbered, and the English thought due to this that it was unlikely that Wallace would defeat them, but little did they know at the time that Wallace was actually a very good battle strategist and was able to come up with a strategy that allowed the Scots to win the majority of the battles that he was in. The English had to cross a bridge in order to get to the Scots, and the bridge was a very basic, narrow kind of wooden bridge, and the Scots kind of lined up at the end of the bridge, and then the English army came charging across this bridge, and a lot of them were kind of crushed and fell off the bridge as they were crossing and drowned, and the ones that didn't make it across the bridge got trapped at the end of the bridge by the Scottish Army, and the Scottish Army slaughtered and killed the ones who got trapped at the end. After the Battle of Stirling Bridge, William Wallace then went to capture Stirling Castle, and he was able to successfully capture Stirling Castle and temporarily free Scotland from the English. Then in October of that year, he then invaded northern England and ravaged the full of Northumberland and Cumberland in England. During the battle, he skinned a dead English soldier and kept his skin as a trophy. As you can imagine, the English did not take this well, and this only made King Edward I more angry. In July of 1298, King Edward decided to invade Scotland again. On July 22nd, Wallace's troops were defeated at the Battle of Falkirk, and this ruined his military reputation. And in 1299, he attempted to gain French support for his rebellion, and he was actually briefly successful, but the French eventually turned against William Wallace and the Scots, and then because of this, the Scottish leaders at the time decided to side with the English, so they betrayed William Wallace and took the side of the English, and then they passed him up to King Edward I and let King Edward I know where he was hiding at the time. So then King Edward I sent his army to find William Wallace, and they eventually found him in 1304, and in August 1304. When they captured him near Glasgow, he was taken to London and charged with treason by King Edward, and he was hung, drawn and quartered. And what they did with the body is they stuck his spike on a head in London Bridge to let anyone know who thought about betraying King Edward that this is what happened to him. From then on, William Wallace has been seen as a symbol of Scottish independence, and efforts continued at least 23 years after his death to gain Scotland's independence. It wasn't until actually 23 years after William Wallace's death that they were able to gain Scottish independence. This is known as the Treaty of Edinburgh, which was formed in 1328 and has since been remembered as one of Scotland's greatest heroes. However, Scotland's independence was never to last. An attraction that you can visit if you are interested in William Wallace. There is the Wallace Monument in Stirling that was built by the Victorians that was built in memory of William Wallace to commemorate his life. The Wallace Monument actually sits and actually overlooks the battle site of the Battle of where the Stirling Bridge took place. And this monument was actually J.R.R.'s Tolkien, the writer of The Lord of the Rings. It was the Wallace Monument was his inspiration for the Eye Tower in Lord of the Rings. The Wallace Monument, if you go in, it actually tells you about William Wallace's life, and it tells you about knights and what they wore and their fighting styles back then. It also tells you about why William Wallace decided to be a rebel and fight against the English, and why he wanted Scottish independence, and it tells you about the political situation of Scotland at the time, and it also tells you what life was like for Scottish people at the time. And you can also find his sword that he used to fight in battle. I've been to the Wallace Monument, it's really good. And it also the weapon. It also shows you the weapons that these knights would have used to fight in battle between the late 1200s to the early 1300s. So guys, that's the video for today. I hope you enjoyed this video and found this story really interesting. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like this video, comment down below, subscribe to my channel, and stay tuned for next week when I come up with a brand new video. Thank you, bye.